It's on. Hello, people. Yeah, audience here. Everyone's here. Check. So, my first ever YouTube video, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about everything. So, the purpose of this channel is just fun, and I've been doing research, the results of which I want to share with people, not all people. There's going to be some sort of IQ test, not test, IQ barrier. By the way, sorry in advance for my English, I'm not a native speaker. Also, my education was in English. I've been living in UK on and off for 20 years. So my name is Sergi. I have other names. I have middle name, which is actually my father's name. And I have some secret names, like hidden names, that only me knows, because so that evil spirits don't know that. It's fun. So essentially, I've been studying biology and other subjects. At some point in my life, I was so into so many subjects. I had to choose. You need to focus. You cannot sort of throw yourself to different subjects and you won't achieve anything. So you need to focus. So I thought, like, what the subject with the utmost priority? When you essentially you're thinking like you can achieve anything if you put yourself into it. Mm-hmm. So what would be the subject of utmost priority? And me, teenager or a kid actually, was thinking, well, you can try to achieve this and that, but if you get ill or if you die along the way, that would be pointless. That would be, futile. So I thought, like, okay, first I need to try and extend people's lives so that people can live long and prosper, healthy, and preferably not like 5, 10, 7 years or 20, proper extension, life extension, however you want. And this is the utmost goal. The most important thing about this longevity, anti-aging, essentially it's not longevity, anti-aging, it's rejuvenations. The most important thing is that I know that it's possible. So I know for certain, I know for sure, I know 100% that people can live hundreds of years and being young. You know how I know that? Why don't you ask me how I know it? Ask me.
Tell us. How do you know that?
I know that because people did live hundreds of years. I need to be careful what I can say for various reasons. One of that people won't think of me like complete.
Not a case.
Yeah, I don't mind, but the thing is, and the information that people aren't supposed to know. And with this technology, people aren't supposed to know that, because in my view, that's kind of IQ test. I'm talking about being young and live hundreds of years. So
that sounds almost mysterious.
It sounds nuts. It sounds fantasy. It's not possible. It's complete. People would stop listening. Like, yeah, well, To be honest, even proper anti-aging wasn't considered until now as the area that science need to be looked into. It's only recently, like 5, 10, 15 years, it became normal. If it was like 20 years ago, people will think like, you look into the disease, you look for drugs, you don't look like ways to make people live longer. It's only recently it became mainstream science sort of thing. So, this is the ultimate goal. I'm gonna share my research with people, but not to the extent I say, oh, look, take this, take that, you're done, I'm gonna share some cues, some procedures, some protocols, something that I'm experimented with. I've done like numerous experiments, like ongoing, probably 30 different subjects that I'm researching, and I've done probably like I mean I've been doing this for quite a long time. So basically, it's not just words. It's not just like statement. Another thing that that drives me and gives me hope is
Just to remind you, Sergi, how old are you? Please remind us.
I'm 50 years old.
50.
50.
Have you turned 50 already?
In half a year, 6 months.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And actually, I'm about tell you something about that. So essentially, what gives me hope is that so I've been running a number of experiments. Some experiments have been successful. So essentially, I'm not looking for something like you apply a cream and in like 1 month, 5 years time you see results, or you don't see results but you stay sort of level.
Would you share with us the successful ones?
Of course. And what I'm saying that this is not that I'm not looking for incremental changes or like preserving your artificial state of youthfulness through like creams, like face cream or like procedures. By the way, I've not done any procedures. I've never done Botox. Yeah, I've never done Botox. Oh, this is another important thing. So basically, I've not done any facials treatments, and this is important because I'm looking for something that works from your inside, from the biological.
Yes, it's really important.
point
It's
of
really
view.
important, but I think both ways are important. Inside, no.
Probably as a
the best achievement.
mainstream industry like pharmaceuticals, but I see a positive result along the way.
Okay.
It's very interesting, very sort of promising. But
You can see the results obviously on you.
so basically, I want to say that if I was following some of my procedures now, since at least 30, I would be much
You'd
better
be
off.
Benjamin Button then.
Probably, yeah. Well, so only recently I started really taking interest in it. Also, overall, I've been researching the subject for 20 years, but it wasn't my priority. I was like, okay, time will come, I'll do this, and I've been researching. I had positive results with some experimentation before that, but for the last 6 months, I really put my back into it. Because of some love affair. So basically, yeah, I had to look after myself, and I improved. Basically, I've never been fanatical about like exercise. You know, I told you I'm exercising 15-20 minutes a day. I don't sweat. You know, it's like some sidekick sort of thing, some side project. So
It's interesting because that is enough for you.
exactly. I was saying what gives me hope, what drives me is that I had positive results, and results along the way of me accepting this as the technology. So I want something that works overnight. Not only it extends your life for tens of years and decades and centuries, hopefully, but at present years and years, but it works overnight. So you don't need to like suffer, because life, it's about pleasure. One of things. So not what gives me pleasure? Research gives me pleasure. Achieving something gives me pleasure. Being gives me pleasure. I'm not into hedonistic life. I don't do drugs. I don't party much, but I love partying. I love.
Sorry,
having
how
fun.
does that relate to your love story though? I haven't heard anything about yet. So this kind of project in your love story, what is the connection?
It just sped up the research. So I had to divert my attention to this because this is how I work on the various projects. So I work on a project if I really stuck on something, it doesn't work, because science is a really tricky subject, so really tricky industry. Only people that stumble upon something that works get rewarded, which is completely unfair. So because biological process is very complex. If you block one pathway, it can go around, and it works like a signal receptor, and like so various pathway leading to one target or something like that.
Interesting knowledge.
So what I'm saying, it's what I was saying. I was saying that
With the love story.
If I hit a stumbling block in one research, I would just put it aside and I started doing something else. I have projects here and there. So this rejuvenation project was always within reach. I always been doing this, but on and on. But this, I met a girl, and she was nice. And I looked at myself from aside, and I was like, that can be improved. so I did. Anyways, so what gives me hope? What gives me hope and keeps me going? So I had some positive results, and it was overnight. It was amazing. I mean, I didn't expect that, but it was pretty amazing. So
overnight happened what exactly?
It was rejuvenation. It was really
Could
interesting.
you give us a little bit more information about it?
I'm just going to now. So essentially, one day I was running this experiment, not only one experiment, but another one and another one and yet another one. So this is the problem. There was like 5 different variables. So, and at the end of the day, I finished with the last experiment. Next day, I woke up, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, do I look younger, significantly younger? It was like 5-10 years younger, really. And obviously, if it was just my impression, I wouldn't mention it. But then I met people, and people were like, you look much younger. So, and it was overnight.
Interesting.
It was like 10 years younger.
Tell us what product is that?
This is what I'm saying. There was no product. There was some protocols, some substances, and everything. The only thing is there was 5 variables, and which one acted is or maybe a combination of some of them or all of them. I tried the same thing. It didn't work, and then I realized that some other substances that I'm taking may interfere. So several 10 experiments,
Interesting.
completely
So you just-
futile. That
You just had that kind of chemical reaction, to get.
about reaction, body's
Effects.
reaction. So this is the point with the biology. So later on, even recently, I had some positive result. Not as radical, because I'm getting older. Probably because I'm getting older. And then the biological system, which our bodies are, very resilient. It's resilient to toxins. It's resilient to some changes. So this is actually comes to the theory of aging. What is aging? So my view is somewhat different. And it's been different and been the same for 20 years, but now I see other theories develops in the same way. So basically, I was saying that I had some other positive experiments. So body would kind of fight the change. So if you impose some changes, some procedures, some protocols, it might change for the first couple days. It will stay with you. The result will stay with you. But then the body would fight the change, because it doesn't think, oh, it's positive change. I'd rather. It's somewhat more complicated. There's trade-off between different.
Of course, you need some kind of certain level of understanding in biology.
Well, this is pretty. Yeah, you're right, and yeah, some ideas like, for example, trade-off. So basically, however surprising it might be, a body, any individuals, the goal of the body not to live longer. It doesn't have this goal. The goal of each and single body, individual, as its organism, is actually reproduction, species survival, species live longer as long as possible, not individual members. It's variables. So, and like for example, with the disease, the goal of the body not to cure the disease completely, as people normally think. Like, oh, if someone got ill, the body thinks, the next step I would get better, I would completely recover. Not necessarily. Sometimes it's energy efficient, resource efficient, just to preserve, contain the disease. So the body locks it in. It never recovers. It just reduces its responses, reduces inflammation, and it stays there. So in order,
but then it's going to be too much waste in the body, no? With all that, and they stay there.
yeah, this is how it happens. So in order to cure someone with this, it becomes chronic disease. So in order to cure someone, you need to shift this disease into the acute state. And only then you can cure this. So essentially, body resists changes. So if you impose something in order to rejuvenate it, it will still resist changes. So changes have to be in line with something that the body can take on. And it doesn't make sense probably now, but I will elaborate it as the right time comes. Just introduction for now. Okay, it will come in due course.